Welcome to Baby's Birthday. Each show joins a mum-to-be and counts down to the birth of their baby, revealing all the drama, laughter and tears involved in giving birth. Because let's be honest, giving birth is never a walk in the park. To help chart each birth, this is the Baby's Birthday Clock. It's there to count down to each mum's due date. And once labour kicks off, the clock kicks in and times the birth so you know exactly how long each mum's been in labour, whether it's 2 hours or a whopping 20 hours. All the action of the birth is boiled down into a half-hour show. So, we'd better crack on.
We're off.
Today we meet older mum Alison and her family as she goes into labour. But the birth doesn't go smoothly,
dear.
and it's not for the faint-hearted.
Alison, do you know what's happening?
I really thought one of them were going to die.
It's something sticking in me.
It's not me.
It's the problem.
That's how we got where we are today.
Alison and Jeff Smith found love second time around and have been together 10 years. Alison has 2 sons from a first marriage, 21-year-old Mark and 19-year-old Darren, and a 9-year-old daughter called Leanne with Jeff. At 45, Alison's no spring chicken, which means giving birth comes with loads more risks and dangers.
A lot of people are worried about me because of my age and everything, and they just want it over, and me and the baby both to be okay. Obviously, my husband is going to be there, and probably my sister, because I need somebody to make me laugh and keep me calm, and hopefully that's what she's going to do, because we just laugh anyway at anything, so that's why she's coming.
Oh, here we go, look. One of both of you. You did well,
He's got to short, Sam. We had to take a photo of him now and again, just in case he got lost. I truthfully didn't expect to have another baby. I thought at my age that I would be menopausal. And then when my period was late, I was a bit shocked and I thought, this is menopause now. And then just one day I decided, well, I'll just try a pregnancy test and see.
When she brought the pregnancy test round to mine and told me to have a look at it, and I nearly dropped it off my kitchen floor because it was the last thing I expected.
And I think I did one every week, really, and they all kept coming back positive. And it was a bit of a shock. But I thought, I'm not going to get past 10 weeks. I was convinced that I wouldn't get past 10 weeks. Now that I've got to 39 weeks, I'm absolutely amazed, really, that I've gone this far. And when it is born, it will be a shock, I think, because you know that it's going to come and things, but it's just unbelievable when it actually happens. And it's like other people just finding out that they're pregnant. You just find out that you've got this baby, and it's a miracle, really.
Has he got tennis balls in his pocket? He always had tennis balls in his pocket when he had his photo shoot.
Why?
I don't know why.
Coming from such a big family, there was 7 children in my family, and I just can't imagine a life without children. When I had Leanne, and I didn't think that I was going to have any more children, I felt really sorry for her that she hadn't got a sister, because I've got so many sisters, and I just couldn't imagine a life without a sister. And I did feel sorry for her on that. To me, I feel as though I'm doing something for her, giving her a sister, because I just can't imagine anybody living without a sister, really.
Alison and her sister Lisa are all geared up for the birth. But we've not heard much from hubby Jeff.
Yes, I hope to be at the birth, but I do work for a security firm, and depending on my shift times and when I'm working, it might be a bit difficult to get there right on time, but hopefully I will be there for the birth.
My husband's a bit too quiet, you see. He's not... I don't know how to describe him, really. His body will be there, but he doesn't actually put things into words. He's not... He's very quiet and reserved, a bit like me.
Oh, you're doing a good job there. You're probably smiling as well.
I'm not looking forward at the birth of Alison probably swearing at the midwife. which happened last time, and probably having a real go at me as well.
I'll have to go and put the kettle on.
I've done it.
Oh, have you? That's very good of you.
I don't really want
If I could stay calm, I know that it would be easier. So that's what I'm going to try and do this time. Just try and stay calm and think, you've done it before, you can do it again and it will soon be over with. That's what I'm hoping to do.
During Alison's pregnancy, Jeff's proven himself to be quite the modern man.
Even though I help around the house, I think I've just done a little bit more in every job I do, which is do the housework, make the bed, do anything I can, you know what I mean? I've just improved or done a little bit more to what I normally do. Do you really want a brew?
Well, just make it. If I don't drink it, we can always throw it away.
The pregnancy in the early stages went very well. There was no major problems, but as we've got nearer the time, obviously Alison's had a few problems, morning sickness and things like that. We did have a false alarm. One night we had to go to the hospital. She was checked and everything was all right, but she was having the normal pains, contractions, and we obviously thought that was a time, but it wasn't. And she still seemed to have a good days and bad days, I suppose, as every woman does.
Shut up.
Are you enjoying that lovely cup of coffee I've made for you?
Well, the last one was made with milk. This is made with water. It doesn't quite have the same texture.
Can't afford all that milk.
As Alison is in her mid-40s, there is a much higher risk of there being complications and problems during her labour, and Alison has prepared herself for the possibility that her baby has Down syndrome.
At 20 weeks, I went for a scan and they did a test where they measured the back of the baby's neck, which the baby's neck was thicker than it should be, and that's when they told me there was a chance of Down syndrome. I'd like a healthy baby, but if it's not healthy, then it's still my baby. So long as it's alive and breathing, that's all that matters.
If Alison was in her 20s, the chances of her baby being Downs would be 1 in 2,000. At 45, the odds are now massively higher. There is a 1 in 30 chance Alison's daughter will be Down syndrome. 2 days later, Alison is just over an hour into labour with Jeff and Lisa by her side.
This is a partogram. It's what we do all your...
Partogram?
A partogram. That, and it's all your observations and things in labour and how well you're progressing.
At least that's working. And I think it was round about 8:15 when I got there. And I still weren't convinced. I thought they were going to send me home, but they didn't. And they examined me and said I was 5 centimetres dilated, so I thought, well, I must be in labour then. Hey, if it stays like this, I can cope. Just keep saying it's mind over matter. I'll pretend it's a pea, and I've got Passett or a gallstone.
But there was nothing really happening. She was having contractions and the gas in her was there and she wanted a drink of water and I was handing her water. And Lisa was there supporting everything. And it was going really well.
Sunburn on you are. No, it's the ice I want, love. No, come on. Play fair, that's better. I hope your hands are clean. Right, that'll do. Don't wet bed. You prayed for this, didn't you? You, deaf head, you prayed for this.
Oh, she's on one now.
That I'd go into labour tonight, so you wouldn't have to perform.
That was the plan.
It's always like this, or is this the gas in air?
No, she's always like this, love. Don't say that. Then they showed me the gas and air, which that were special that, because I was saving it. She asked me did I want to go, and I said no, I'll save it for later. So I still carried on, and I think it was about I don't know if it was 9:15 or 10:15 when I started on that. We're off.
Okay. I'm just going to go and cut that last foot ahead so you have done with it.
Come on, child, make an appearance. What time did we come in?
8 o'clock-ish, were
No, 9:15.
9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It should be about 1:15. I'm not going no longer than 1:15. I'm not breaking with tradition. Jesus, my left hip. Oh. Move down, not up. Oh dear. Oh. Oh. If you squeeze my hand any tighter, it'll bloody fall off. You just hold, and I'll do squeezing, because I'm getting pins and needles.
You don't squeeze it, you just hold it behind.
Because I'm alright at the minute.
Due to Alison's age, there is a higher possibility of complications.
Are you timing these contractions?
As Alison's contractions get stronger, problems start to develop.
Then as the pains got stronger, Alison had more gas in her. And the real next thing I understood, everything was fine. The midwife who'd been out came back in and said that there was a problem.
Yeah, they've gone from 10 breaths of this to 25. Now they're getting stronger. Now what does that say? Does that say the same or does it say different?
She looks like you're having regular pains, but I'm going to actually just change your position more.
Right.
Just turn you on a second. You just stop filming, please.
After just over 3 hours of labour, things are not looking good at all. Jeff and Lisa are having to face the nightmarish reality they could lose either Alison or the baby.
Alison, do you know what's happening?
Coming up, Alison's labour continues.
Do I want the baby to be alive or Alison to be alive?
We're back with 45-year-old Alison, who is 3 hours and 4 minutes into labour. With her are husband Jeff and sister Lisa, and Alison's birth has run into serious complications.
She looks like you're having regular pains, but I'm going to actually just change your position more.
Right.
Just turn you on a second. You just stop filming, please.
This midwife was examining me and all I heard was, your baby's pooed inside you, we've got to get it out, turn the cameras off, and that's all I heard. And as I looked at the monitor, I noticed that the baby's heartbeat had gone down to 78. So I just went into panic mode then. And, well, from there it just went mad, really.
The fact that Alison's baby defecated inside her is an indication it's in distress, and usually means it's being deprived of oxygen. The baby's heartbeat has now dropped dramatically. The baby urgently needs to be born, or else she could die.
Right, can we get that oxygen on her, please?
Get this oxygen on her. It's all right.
Come on, Alison. Come on. Come on.
Alison, do you know what's happening? Everything just happened all at once and everybody was in that room. And baby's heartbeat, Alison said it, she saw it at 74, something like that. I saw it go right down to below 30, and it was absolutely horrendous. Because I thought, one of them's going to go. I really thought one of them was going to die.
I can remember a lot of shouting and somebody taking that gas and air off me, which were murdered at because I was in real pain then.
I can't describe the fear and the feeling that I had. And I come into it and thought, I can't cry in front of Jeff, because I've got to be strong for him now because he's panicking and worried. In fact, I've never seen Jeff. His emotion on his face and the colour just drained out of him, and Jeff is just Jeff.
When things started to go wrong, obviously, you don't know what to do really. You're there, your mind's going all over. And when they said theatre, she was going to the theatre, I didn't know what to think. I just thought,
who's going to be alive at the end of it all, really. That was my main concern, because it was going so well at the time, and then it just, everything changed so rapid.
I'll do my band damnedest to tell him what you want, but we'll do our best.
Just gonna get baby out.
And the one big concern for me was if anybody came to me and asked if there was any complications, what would I have to do? What, would I go say, I want the baby to be alive or Alison be alive? Because I just don't think I could have handled that. I don't.
Yeah. It's just important we get baby out now, Alison, love, honestly. Three.
The hospital have reacted quickly and rushed Alison to theatre. Jeff is with her, but all Sister Lisa can do is wait for news, whether good or bad.
Alison was in so much pain because she wasn't dilating at all. So they whipped her down to theatre for a section. And she kept saying, I want to go to sleep, I want to go to sleep. Anyway, they put her to sleep. Well, they come in and told me that they'd put her to sleep, and the next minute they said that she was awake. And it was just so scary. I mean, you can hear that heartbeat, and it would. And then it just. And I've only ever seen her cry 4 times, if that, and to see her and be so frightened, it were awful. It were really awful because she's so strong.
And then the next thing, I was in stirrups with all the lights shining in front of me, ready for a caesarean. And all I kept asking, will you put me to sleep, will you put me to sleep? And they didn't, because on the way down to this operating theatre, I'd dilated fully and she was coming on her own.
They was telling her to push as much as she could, but she'd had that much gas in her by then, I don't think she could really understand what they were saying. And the next thing I heard that the surgeon had said that the baby had dropped.
The next contraction, they told me I had to push, which normally you wouldn't do. You'd wait until you had a proper pushing pain. And then they connected this thing to her head to actually suck her out. So it was like 2 pushes for her head out, and then the third push, they sucked her out really, and she come out fully. But it was horrible, and I thought I was going to die, or the baby would die.
I literally prayed, I was really praying that they save both of them, they can save both of them.
And I looked at the baby and there was no sound at all the first few seconds. And I kept looking at her, and suddenly there was a noise and she started to cry, and that's when all the emotions went, and I just realised that everything was going to be okay. So I turned around to Alison, and she was in absolute agony at this time. But I think we finally got her through it, and I'm just so pleased that we did.
Is baby okay?
Baby's okay.
How big?
6'14".
Is that all?
Josie, can you bring Leanne now?
Is she alright?
Feeding right away.
Is Alison
Yeah,
alright?
I will.
Is Alison okay?
Alison's alright, she's been stitched, that's all.
Right.
Took a bit of fighting,
Right.
but it's done, everything.
And baby's okay?
Yeah. You can come in a minute, just.
Wait till Leanne first.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll let Leanne wait first for that. But the baby's fine, is she?
Yeah.
My leg's shaking a bit and my hands hurting where that's in, but apart from that, I'm alive and that's all that matters.
Is there any chance that I get to hold her?
Oh, if I have to.
Yeah.
Are you alright, lover? Are you going home with your dad?
We're just so glad now that everything did turn out perfect.
After 9 months of waiting for Nicky Lou's dramatic arrival, Alison and Jeff's waiting is not over yet. Tomorrow, they will find out if their daughter has Down syndrome.
You're wide awake now, aren't you? Yeah. The idea is you stay awake now till 10 o'clock tonight. Don't eat the towel. That's a good girl. And then at 10 o'clock you can go to sleep. Although it's your dad's night for having you, so you better know. Stay awake all night. And be sick all over him. Just like you're every other night. Don't make no exceptions just because it's your dad. Are you listening? After the baby was born, the midwife that had been there from the beginning, she was talking to me and she said about a home birth, that if it had have been a home birth, it would have been a completely different outcome, which I could see that then. She never actually said the word Downs to me, but she knew that there was a chance, and she come to me after and she said, I can't say for sure, but the paediatrician will come in the morning and examine her, but from what I can see, she looks all right to me. And that was the only thing that was mentioned at the night. And then at the morning, the doctor, he come really early and he examined her. I didn't care by then. She were alive and that's all that mattered. So I weren't bothered what he said. As long as she were breathing, that's all that mattered. And he examined her and then he just said, she's perfectly fine.
When Nicky Louise arrived, you're just on top of the world, really. It's my second daughter, obviously, I've been through it once before, but with the complications we had, it was just so wonderful that she'd actually arrived and delivered, and both of them was absolutely fine.
This baby, to me, was meant to be, because Alison had suffered like miscarriages. She lost so many babies, and for her to actually carry this baby full term and be fine, healthy, this baby was meant to be. So fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Alison's labour lasted 3 hours, 58 minutes and 32 seconds. After all the drama and heartache, Nicky Lou is here and the perfect addition to the family.